Hey, everybody, it's Anna Stowe. I'm a private investigator in California with over 25 years of experience, and I want to talk a little bit about mitigation. So, mitigation in criminal defense cases is where the defense will show any mitigating factors. And just like the prosecution will show aggravating factors, such as a prior criminal record or fights at school. It could be aggravating, can be any kind of poor behavior. You're going to see my cat. So, mitigating factors are anything that might mitigate either the circumstances, the crime, or the defendant's behavior. So, things we look for are childhood abuse and trauma. It could be learning disabilities. It could be some pretty strong ADHD going on. It could be PTSD. It could be PTSD from serving in the military. It could be childhood trauma. It could be being a ward of the state, going through foster care your entire childhood. So those are kind of the factors we look for, and there are many of them. They're almost unlimited. So every case is different. But in mitigation, we really try to narrow down and clearly outline what is going on and has been going on in the defendant's life over time, over history. And then we bring in some experts to talk about those things. So if we're talking about military PTSD or complex PTSD, we would bring in an expert that could speak to that. We don't have to bring in experts, but oftentimes we want an expert that can explain it to a jury much better than we could. So these are the things a mitigation specialist like myself would look for in a defendant's case. Now, obviously, if the defendant has committed a super heinous crime, and we all see those, all over the news, mitigation is only going to get you so far. The jury, the judge, depending on whether it's a plea agreement or the defendant is going to take the case to trial, the end result really relies on either the 12 jurors or the judge to decide the fate of the defendant. So we could do a perfect mitigation case. We could lay out everything. We could create empathy for the defendant, and they could still get a life sentence or the death sentence or the term that they're supposed to serve according to the sentencing guidelines. But without mitigation, your defendant is standing in front of a judge with just the crime, the victim's testimony, if that's applicable, and the prosecutor's case. So mitigation is a vital part of every defense case and should be used in every defense case. So if you have questions about that, will you put them in the comments? I know that some people object to mitigation. They think it's an excuse. That is not true. It is a strategy used by the defense team that shows a holistic view of the defendant rather than just the crime. And when it comes down to it, don't we all want the judge to know us, to have some background information, some context about our lives before we're sentenced? That's the goal. All right, if you have any questions, put them in the comments, and I'll see you tomorrow with another kind of different update.